This is Your City Could Be Better, because it could be. I'm David Plotz. If you love your city and still complain about it, you're in the right place. It is the semi-quincentennial this weekend, and if there is anything that America's founding fathers agreed on, it was the importance of trivia. The Minutemen, of course, were so named because you had to be able to list 23 towns in Massachusetts in a minute in order to join. The Bill of Rights logjam at the Constitutional Convention was broken when Alexander Hamilton beat James Madison in a game of Founders Feud. And here at Your City Could Be Better, we are going to celebrate the 4th of July in the same spirit with a friendly, or maybe unfriendly, trivia competition between me and our celebrity guest. And our celebrity guest honestly daunts me. I'm terrified of her. Alexandra Petri is not only one of the funniest columnists in America, as she proves regularly in The Atlantic, but she's also the author of a book of fake U.S. history, Alexandra Petri's U.S. History, Important American Documents I Made Up, which I have on the shelf behind me. I was just trying to find it before Alexandra came on so I could have a cheat sheet. Hello, Alexandra. Welcome to Your City Could Be Better.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So we're going to face off in a game moderated by one of America's top trivia entrepreneurs, who is also the host of CityCast Twin Cities, Sean McPherson. Sean is the co-founder of Trivia Mafia, the Midwest's largest trivia business, whatever that means. Hello. Hello, Sean. What does that mean?
I love the intro that it's whatever that. Alexander wrote a book. You didn't say whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that is. Pages bound, I guess, together. No.
Yeah, but it takes a little more explaining. 19 years ago, I started a trivia night with my friend Chuck, and has grown into this big business. We have over 250 trivia nights a week with a staff of people who write questions, but also a staff of people who go out and read these questions at bars. And it's been a spectacular part of my life. I'm now hands off and focused on CityCast Twin Cities, but I'm so proud of what I've done with Trivia Mafia, and I'm glad I get to run some trivia for y'all.
Oh, man. I'm like, oh, no, these are going to be real facts. I'm used to fake facts. So.
Yeah, there'll be some facts, there'll be some fun, and it's all loosely related to America in celebration of the 4th of July. And I have 4 rounds of trivia prepared for David and Alexandra today. And here are the categories. Now, the first category is the Declaration of the Declaration of Independence. Categories 2 and 3 are CityCast road trips. So that means the answers are going to be cities that CityCast is active in today, which means that David probably has a profound advantage in those particular categories. And then the final round is Great Americans Who Share a Name. So those are the 4 rounds we're doing. And we're going to be using the Your Name is Your Buzzer method. So when you know the answer, say Alexandra when you're ready to answer, or David, say David when you're ready to answer. Say your name, and then I'll call on you to share the answer. If you get the answer correct, you get a point. There is not an opportunity to steal. So if the person gets it wrong, I'll just share the answer, or the other person can share the answer for pride, but there's no points. And the winner is going to be determined not by who got more questions correct, but who won more rounds. So if you win the same amount of rounds, if you both win 2 rounds, I do have some numerically based tiebreakers prepared, but otherwise, that's the table. That's the plan. David and Alexandra, are you ready for the Declaration of Independence? Yeah.
Before we start, I learned the most amazing fact. Can I start with one trivia question? Because if I don't share this trivia question, it'll sit in my head and I won't be able to think. So I learned there is one and only one American president who did not speak English as his native language. Do you know who it is?
Yeah, Martin Van Buren.
Yeah.
The one, the only, old Kinderhook.
Yeah. I just learned this yesterday.
And he spoke Dutch, right? That's what he grew up speaking?
Yeah. Oh, man, you guys are going to kill me. Well,
if it's all Martin Van Buren questions, then I'm ready. But
Round 5 is MVB. No, we are doing the Declaration of Independence. Here is question number 1. The first confirmed public readings of the Declaration of Independence took place on July 8th, 1776. The readings took place in Easton and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as a city that would serve as the capital of the United States for 53 days in 1784. Name that city.
Alexandra,
what is your guess?
I'm going to say New York City.
That has served as the capital, but I believe that predated Philadelphia, not postdated. So no points for that. The correct answer is Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey was the capital for 53 days. Here's question number 2 of the Declaration of Independence. A 47-page pamphlet released on January 10th of 1776 was instrumental in swaying public opinion toward favoring independence from Great Britain. The pamphlet was released anonymously, but is now attributed to what English-born founding father?
Plotz.
All right, David, we are ready.
Because he's so good at pamphlets, I'm just going to say Tom Paine.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You must say like as a personal friend. Good old Tom Paine. I've only ever heard of as Thomas Paine.
Yeah, to me, he's Tom. Yeah.
He was, I think, a notoriously unpleasant person. I think that I remember
A real
learning
pain,
that.
if you will.
Yeah.
No points for jokes. So I cannot give you a point for that one, Alexandra. Here is question number 3 of the round. John Trumbull's painting, The Declaration of Independence, has become the standard depiction of the famous signing. On what denomination of money can you find a reproduction of that painting?
Plotz.
We're ready, David.
The $2 bill.
That is correct. Here is another question. The first translation of the Declaration was published July 9th, 1776 in Philadelphia. What language was the Declaration first translated into?
Petri.
I'm ready, Alexandra.
I'm going to say French.
That is not correct. I'm so
You're
sorry.
kidding me.
What?
German.
Oh.
It was first translated into German for Philadelphia communities.
What were we doing?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
This
Strong
one
and
is
wrong. Okay.
That was
I'm
tough.
0 for 0.
That was tough.
This is the final question of this round and is a little bit related to the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin would likely have had a larger hand in writing the Declaration of Independence, but he was sidelined at the time with a form of inflammatory arthritis. What is the better known
Petri.
name for? All right, Alexandra.
Gout.
Gout is correct.
Yes. 1.
Well done. That does mean that David wins this round
Yep.
because David had 2 correct and Alexandra had 1 correct. How is everybody feeling? You like the format? You comfortable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not really, but okay.
Okay. So this one is called a CityCast road trip. Here's the situation in this. Every answer in this round will be the name of a CityCast city, meaning a city that we have a newsletter podcast going in. What is the second most populous state capital in the U.S.?
Plotz.
All right, David, what's your guess?
Austin?
That is correct. 1 point. Question number 2. What was the first state capital in the Confederacy to be taken by Union forces?
Petri.
Plotz.
Oh.
You go. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're giving it to Petri.
I'm going to say Nashville.
That is correct. 1-1. Well done. What city has acquired more professional sports teams in the U.S. in the past 10 years
Plotz.
than any other city? David.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is correct. What city is home to the self-proclaimed largest independent new and used bookstore in the world?
Plotz.
All right, what's your guess, David?
Portland.
That is correct. Owl's Books.
I've been there. It's a great bookstore.
What city is home to America's oldest zoo?
Petri.
All right, what is your guess, Alexandra?
I'm guessing Philadelphia.
That is a good guess. Well done. 2
Is it
points for
right?
Al. Yep, that's correct.
Whoa.
Yeah. I realize you shouldn't say that is a good guess after the correct answer. You should go, that is the
Nice
right
try.
answer. Here is the next question. What city in 1972 became the only city to decline the opportunity to host the Olympics after it was offered the Olympics?
Oh,
Alexandra.
Salt Lake.
No.
I think it's Denver. I was going to guess Salt Lake then, but I think it's Denver.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. That means that we have David taking this round as well with 3 correct answers to Alexandra's 2.
The category is really unfair, though. I would like to put an asterisk on that category.
I understand. And the final category steps away from this, but we did want to celebrate all the great CityCast cities. So I'm going to announce the CityCast cities that remain on the board, Alexandra, before we go into this next round. Okay.
Okay.
So we have Madison. We have Minneapolis. We have Salt Lake City. We have Pittsburgh. We have DC. And I think I already said Seattle, but Seattle is also on the list.
Hi, I'm David Plotz. I'm the CEO of CityCast, a podcast network that includes this show you're listening to, and also 12 other CityCasts in 12 other cities. And each one knows their city as well as your local team knows yours. So isn't it time we connected them? Don't you want to know how they're tackling their bike lane problems and housing challenges and sidewalk dog poop crises? That's why I'm hosting a new podcast called Your City Could Be Better. Because it could be. Every week, I'll chat with a different host in our CityCast network about what their cities are doing right and wrong, the weird things they're trying, and the surprising successes, so that we can all learn how to make our cities a little bit better. Listen to Your City Could Be Better on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are y'all ready for a further CityCast road trip?
Let's do it.
What city is the northernmost major metropolitan area in the contiguous 48 states?
Petri?
All right, Alexander, what's your guess?
Seattle?
That is correct. Well done. Further north than Minneapolis. Well played.
Oh.
Question number 2. What city is home to the only natural waterfall on the Mississippi?
Plots. It's got to be the Twin Cities.
That is correct. St. Anthony Falls. I think we might be the only CityCast city on the Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think of anything else that would come close. I think that's it. You guys are tied up. Question number 3. What city's most significant college sports rivalry is sometimes referred to as the Holy War?
Oh, Petri.
Petri, I'm ready.
Well, now I'm doubting it, but I'm going to say Salt Lake again.
That is correct. Salt Lake City is right. That is the University of Utah, which is non-religious, and BYU,
BYU.
which is...
I was on the campus. I should have known this because I was on the campus of the University of Utah last year, and I was wondering why all the signs, any sign that had a Y on it, the Y was taped over, and I was like, why are all the Ys taped over? And it's because I guess that's the Y of BYU.
Next question. What city hosted one of the most celebrated world fairs in history back in 1893?
Petri?
I'm ready, Alexandra.
Chicago?
That is correct. 3 for Alexandra.
If you'd said in 2026, I would have been like, well, the Great American State Fair, obviously, in D.C. But
I was there yesterday. It was a ride.
I'm going to tomorrow. I can't wait. It was not actually a ride because there were no rides, right?
There was the Ferris wheel. It was a ride.
What a great ride. They can't hold a candle to the Minnesota State Fair. I will say that much. Here is your next question in the CityCast road trip round. What city is within reasonable driving distance to 8 Frank Lloyd Wright buildings, which is the second most in a metro area behind only Chicago? All right, David.
Madison.
Madison is correct. He's creeping up, Alexandra.
Yeah,
2 points to 3 points.
You got the whole,
You have Wisconsin roots, right?
I do. I feel like the reasonable driving distance is doing a lot of lifting there, but I'll give it to you.
Have you been? Are you from Milwaukee, Alexandra?
Fond du Lac.
When I was in Milwaukee, there was this place called the Burnham. What's it called? It's a block in sort of a nothing neighborhood of Milwaukee where Frank Lloyd Wright had designed these sort of kit houses. And they built like 4 of these kit houses on this block. And then they didn't build them anywhere else. And so it's this block that has 4 Frank Lloyd Wright houses on it. And they're just tiny little houses and they're not really much of anything, but it's so cool to see.
Oh, that's really cool. I've not been to those. I got to check them out.
I think it's called the Burnham Block. The Burnham Block in Milwaukee.
Here's your next question, folks. What city is sometimes called the Paris of Appalachia?
Plots, I guess it's Pittsburgh.
That is correct. I think it's called that by very few people, but it's on the Wikipedia page, so we are honoring it. Here is the final question. Right now, y'all are tied with 3 points apiece. What city elected their first mayor in 1975?
I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to say Petri, and then I'm going to say DC.
That is correct. They did not have a mayor until 1975. Alexandra, you got one of the rounds that we favored David Plotz in because the city cast advantage. How do you feel right now?
Oh, I'm a little bit relieved because I was worried I was just going to be completely swept. So I'm glad I'm not being completely swept.
We have a competition on our hands because if we want to, I'd love to see Alexandra win this next round and then we'll have a tiebreaker. But if David does win this final round, then the game is over.
Nixon 5, baby.
This round is called Great Americans Who Share a Name. So I'm going to describe 2 Americans who share the same first and last name, and you give me that name.
Wow.
This is by far the funnest round we have. Are you excited, Alexandra and David?
Yes.
Here's the first one. The 4th Vice President of the United States and the Leader of Parliament since 1968. Plotz. Okay, we're ready.
James Monroe. I'm just going to guess that Monroe was Madison's vice president. No. Okay.
This person also had a dual role as the leader of Funkadelic, George Clinton. George Clinton has been the leader of Parliament since 1968 and was the 4th vice president.
I was thinking of the wrong Parliament. And I was like, we didn't have a vice president named Prime Minister. What are you talking about? But that's on me.
Here comes the next one. An actor celebrated for his collaborations with Ryan Coogler and the wealthiest athlete of all time.
Petri,
go for it.
Who is Michael Jordan?
That is correct. Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. Next one. The longest serving judge on American Idol and the replacement for Jermaine in 1975.
Plotz.
Go for it, David.
Hey, I like you were going straight to Jeopardy. Who is Randy Jackson?
That is correct. David, you got that one, so we are tied up. Here's the next one. The subject of a #1 hit for Kim Carnes in 1981 and a legendary funk vocalist famous for her racy song, He Was a Big Freak.
Plotz.
Go for it.
Betty Davis?
Betty Davis is correct. The funk vocalist Betty Davis and the actor Betty Davis. Final question. Is that possible? Ooh, okay. The filmmaker famous for writing and starring in Swingers and the speechwriter and co-founder of Crooked Media.
Oh, Petri,
we're ready.
Jon Favreau.
That is right. That means we have a tie for this round. So first we have to settle that, and then we'll go to the tiebreaker.
It's like multiple tiebreakers. Multiple tiebreakers.
Okay.
Wouldn't it have been funny if that Jon Favreau was the same person? It took me a while to realize it wasn't the same person.
I thought Randy Jackson was the same Randy Jackson, like who joined the Jackson 5. Yeah,
definitely
and I was
thought that.
wrong about that.
Yeah.
So for our numerically based questions, you want to get as close as you can, whether you go over or under. It's whoever gets closest. And by an arbitrary coin flip, we'll let Alexandra guess second on this one and David guess first. And this is to figure out who wins round 4. And again, there's no worry about you going over or under, Alexandra. It just, you want to get as close as you can, and then David wants to get as close as he can after that. How tall is Michael Jordan?
6'6".
All
Which
right.
Michael Jordan?
I did not say B, not Michael Bartholomew Jordan. How tall is Michael Jordan, Alexandra?
I'm going to say 6'8".
6'8". David was on the nose. He is 6'6". So that means that David wins that round. And that also means
the game.
He is the champion. Your city could be better, but David Plotz could not be better at this trivia game because he aced it. So well done, David.
Alexander, it was nice of you to come on, especially the way we rigged the questions in advance.
No, I do feel like, I'm gonna have a recount. I'm gonna demand a recount, and I'm gonna get them to mail me the true ballots, and we'll look.
I feel like
this.
a Michael Jordan question, like asking a man of my age who played basketball a Michael Jordan question is a little bit of a gimme. It's not. That's a,
no. Don't worry. There are plenty of people
it.
whose heights I don't know. Not just Michael Jordan's height, but also many other people's heights. So.
Do you know the amazing Americans who have the same name, just in the spirit of this, or people have the same name? You know that Bill Wyman, there's a journalist, Bill Wyman. Do you know this journalist, Bill Wyman? And there's Bill Wyman, who was in the Rolling Stones. And Bill Wyman, who was in the Rolling Stones, once sent a cease and desist letter to Bill Wyman to say he couldn't write under the name Bill Wyman, even though Bill Wyman he'd been Bill Wyman longer than the Rolling Stones had existed.
I did not know that. I know Bill Wyman, the bassist, but I did not know Bill Wyman, the journalist.
Yeah, there's a Bill Wyman journalist, too. There's another David Plotz journalist who's my cousin, but he doesn't write as David Plotz.
There's another Alexandra Petri who's a journalist, but I think she pronounced it Petri.
Alexandra, would you say you learned more about U.S. history writing a book of fake U.S. history, or more from just life?
I think probably more from just life, although doing the book did force me to read some of the texts that had been sort of like drifting in the back of my, like, they'd say, oh, The Jungle. And I'm like, well, I've never actually read The Jungle. And so it was fun to actually read like The Jungle or The Man Nobody Knows, which I feel like is having a big sort of coming back around in Texas in terms of what if Jesus were really butch? What if he were a carpenter who could hold you in his strong arms? And it's like, wow, ever since, like, for decades, people have been like, Jesus is insufficiently butch for me. So that's been, it was fun to actually go to the text and be like, yes, this is familiar to me.
Which was the best American history text that you got to read that you didn't know?
I did love The Jungle. The Jungle was a hit, except I did think that Jurgis Rudkis, our protagonist, was going to fall into a vat and become rendered into sausage at some point. And he didn't, which I guess is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't read The Jungle yet. But it was one of those things where I kept I'm like, he's only got like 20 pages left, and I guess he's going to have to fall into that vat really soon. But it turned out that the author went another direction.
Thank you, Alexandra Petri, for being so game and so historically minded. And you can read Alexandra in The Atlantic whenever you want, and it will bring you delight. And you can listen to Sean McPherson whenever you'd like on CityCast Twin Cities, where he is the host. That is all for today's episode of Your City Could Be Better. I'm your host, David Plotz. Our producers were Aria Bracci, Priyanka Tilve, and Sean McPherson, who, of course, was also our trivia master. Our music is by Carl Christensen. If you're enjoying the show, please tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back next week with another conversation about how your city could be better.